Limit websites. Yes. React JS is nothing but a client side script. We are using this for what? To implement the websites. Okay. So one more statement is a library of JavaScript. So actually JavaScript is the first client side script. Okay. Yeah. So providing functionalities to implement the client related means browser related logics in the websites. So to work with the JavaScript, different libraries as well as frameworks are introduced. Okay. So React.js is one library of JavaScript. It is a library of JavaScript. Means it provides the additional features to work with the JavaScript. That is the main point of this. So React provides what? Some additional features to work with JavaScript. Okay. Yes. So already told you, if you take any website, we have two phases. First one is design phase. Second one is coding phase. Design phase, we are creating user interfaces. What are the technologies we are using? HTML, CSS. To create the user interfaces, we are using HTML, CSS. These are the technologies. So user interface is nothing but the web page. For example, if you open Google, so on page is loading. So in that page, we have text boxes, button, like that, some controls. That is called as user interface. Okay. So we are interacting with the website through that page. Like that, if you open Facebook or Flipkart. So once you open the Flipkart, so it displays some images, product images like that. So that enter information. Okay. So in designing point of view, we are using HTML, CSS. And if we take coding, two types of scriptings we are using. One is client-side script. Second one is server-side script. What is this client-side script? The script which executes in browser. We are calling it as client-side. Yes, the script which executes in browser. For example, if you implement any logics by using JavaScript or next level technologies of JavaScript like React, Angular, all these comes under client-side scripts. Okay, and server-side script means where it executes in web server. Okay, so example if you take Node.js, ASP.NET, JSP, Spring Hibernate, like that. All this comes under server-side scripting languages. Like that, in website development point of view, we are using two types of scriptings. The first one is client-side scripting. Second one is server-side script. So that is the point of this. So client-side script executes where in browser and server-side script executes in web server. One diagram I want to show you. For example, this is your server. Okay. For example, you developed one website and you deployed that website in server. So these are the pages of your website, like home page, login page, etc., etc. For example, if you take this page contains both scripts. One is client-side script. Second one is server-side script. Now, some X is sending a request for this page. You will get the response of the page. When he is getting the response, Okay. What is happening? The original client-side code downloads into the browser, and in browser it executes. Where it executes here? In browser. The original client-side code downloads into the browser and it executes there. So if you open Facebook, that Facebook client-side code downloads into your browser because you're the client of Facebook now. Client means the person who is using that application. Okay. So I told you yesterday we have two meanings. So client also comes to the person who is paying money for the project development. That client is different. So in this point of view, the person who is using your application, so we are calling that person as client. Okay. Now it is downloading into that browser, client's browser, and it executes there. But server-side script executes where? In the web server. Okay. Where it executes in this web server only. Okay. Yes. For example, you want to connect with the databases, everything. Then we are taking the support of server-side scripting languages. Okay, because database available where? The server location. So in that point of view, server-side scripting languages we are using. So there is separate team in companies to implement the server-side API services. So they will create the database connections and some API services to fetch the data, everything. So remaining in all point of views, we are taking the support of client-side scripting languages. Okay. So here, where we are in the client-side scripting languages, already we discussed in last class. One is to apply dynamic functionalities on HTML element. That's the first point we discussed. By default, all HTML controls are static controls. Okay. What is the meaning of static? So the properties cannot change at runtime. That is the meaning of static. The properties cannot change at runtime. Okay. For example, you have taken one image. That image width and height we are providing. So in that HTML page. Once you load that HTML page, okay, in browser it displays the image with width and height. What are the width and height parameters we have given in the design page? Okay, with those values it is loading. Once it is loaded in browser, you want to increase the width of that image. It is not possible. Again, you need to modify in code and reload the browser. Then only the width will increase. But in browser, without changing the values in code, in browser you want to apply any values. Okay, you want to change the width or image source or any other HTML control, any property you want to change by default, not possible with HTML. So that is possible with these technologies like JavaScript, okay, React, Angular, etc. So by using these client-side scripts, we can apply the dynamic functionalities on the HTML controls. Second point is to validate input controls. So text box is empty or not. In case if it is registration page, password retype, password matching or not. These all validations you want to provide. Then also we are taking the support of these client-side scripts. Okay, next one, to work with Ajax. Okay, Ajax concept I will discuss in this. Ajax is very important for us. So I told you server-side programmers in companies, they're creating the API services, right? So those API services you want to call from your front end, means from the browser. Then we are working with this Ajax. By using Ajax, we are calling the API services of the server. Okay. So means Ajax we are using to send a request from browser to server. To send a request from browser to server. So without submitting the browser. Okay. So generally, if you refresh the browser, then also the request is going to the server, but it submits the web page. And refresh means what that? It is submitting the web page. Your point is Without submit the web page means browser. You want to connect with the server. Okay, in that point, we are taking the support of this concept. Is this clear? Yes. We are taking the support of Ajax. I will discuss separately what is Ajax and how to work with the Ajax. These concepts discussing separate. Okay, yes. Next one, to execute logics in browser. So these are the main areas where we are using these client-side technologies. Okay. See, for example, in this fourth point, what the logics we are developing with client-side code, those logics execute in browser. If you develop any logics in server-side code, those logics execute in server. For example, you want to perform any calculation, like in yesterday I told you, so bank applications, if you take EMI calculation is there. Okay. So user will enter the principal amount, loan amount, and tenure. When he click on that calculate button, that code you can implement by using any client side script or server side script. What the benefit if you develop that code in client side script? It executes in browser. Yes, immediately client can see the result. In case if you develop using server side script, okay, then when user click on the button, one request is coming to the server, there that code is processing and response is coming back to the browser. For this enter request response process, it takes some time. So that's why most of the logics and websites we're developing with client side technologies only. Okay, because the performance is very, very, very fast. User can see the immediate results like that. So these are the main reasons why we are using the client-side scripting languages. Once we start the programming, then you will get the clarity about these points. Okay. And who implemented this React JS already told in last class. Okay. Yes. Who implemented this React JS? So Mr. Jordan Waki. Okay. Now here I will write here. Jordan. Yes. Jordan Waki implemented this React JS. In the year 2013, okay, the main reason to development, okay, for this development is in Facebook website, they wanted to add some features. In Facebook chart concept is there, right? In the chart concept, they wanted to add some features. So for that reason, Jordan Work implemented this React JS in the year 2013. Later added many more functionalities and released this technology as free source technology. Okay, so then outsiders also started working with this React.js. Like that, many websites now these days contain the React.js code. So initially implemented by Mr. Jordan Waki, which year? In 2013. And it belongs to which corporation? Facebook. Okay, that's the basic history of this React.js. And what is the first version of this? 1.0. And the available current version is 19.2 we are using. Sorry. 19.2, that version we are using here. Yes, this is the concept. Okay, fine. So this is a basic history we discussed in the last class. Now we are coming to the next point. So that is features. What are the features? Yeah. Features of React. Yeah. Now, already JavaScript is there. Okay. Why should I use this React.js? What are the more features available in this React.js to compare with JavaScript? Yes. So that is the main question. You got my point? Yes. So why should we use this React.js? Those features we are discussing. Okay. Yeah. 1 second. I'm connected with charger. Yes. Now, if you take this React.js, first point, it supports data. Yeah. So, what is data binding? Just overview I will give you now. Okay. So, programs will discuss when we start the React. So, what is this data binding concept? For example, yeah, see this. You're developing on website or any application. You are creating the variables, right? At the time of project development, we are creating the variables. Variables we are using for what? To store some values, right? Variables we are using to store some values. Like serial number is equal to 100. This is one variable I created. This variable value I want to display on the HTML content. For that, what we are doing here, we're executing some code. Yes. In this code, in this code, okay, we are reading that variable value and displaying on the HTML content. Like, yes, that is the point. We are reading that variable and displaying on the HTML content. So now it is common if you take any technology, JavaScript or .NET or any other technology. Okay. So one value want to display on the content. Then we are executing some logic, that logic. So reading that value and displaying on the control. In case this value is modified from 100 to 200, then without execution of this code, will it display on the control? No. Again, you need to re-execute this code, okay, and displays on this control. Means every time, whenever the variable is updated, okay, whenever the variable is updated, so then we are executing this code, and that code we are displaying on the HTML control. Yes, yeah, that is the concept. Now, in application, not a single variable, we are using many variables, right? So every variable you want to get the updates, and according to that, you want to execute the functions. It takes some time process, and it is some burden on the programmers. That's why in this React, not only React, in Angular also, one concept they provided. What is that? Data binding. So what is the main purpose? We can link a variable with the HTML control. Using this concept, we can link a variable with the HTML control. Yes. So this link identifies this variable, and if any updates are there, okay, immediately without any other code execution, those updates are coming in this HTML control. It updates that variable here. Like means here no need to execute any script to get the updates of the variable. This concept we are calling as data binding. It is clear? Yes. So we have two types of data bindings, one-way data binding and two-way data binding. So what is that one-way data binding, two-way data binding? We'll discuss later. So this is the first feature. It supports data binding. Okay. And next one, if you observe, supports many validators. So different types of validators we are having here. Okay, so in JavaScript, you want to validate any control, we need to write some code. But here it supports many predefined validators. Simply we can use these validators to validate the HTML contents. Is it clear? Yes. So what are the validators we have? We will discuss later. Next one supports single page application. We are calling it as routing. Yeah. It supports what? Single page application. We are also calling it as routing ones. So what is this routing? What is single page application? Okay. The one point I am telling to you why this React Angular, these technologies got popular because of data binding and single page application. Even Angular also supports the single page application. Okay. So what is the single page application? Just overview I am giving now. For example, you are developing one website. Okay. Yes. So in that website, you are creating many pages like home, about us, contact us. Like that, these are the pages you are creating. Home page. And this is about us. And this is contact us. Like that, these are the pages we are creating. Now, this is the browser. I'm sending one request. Okay. Then home page is loading in my browser. That home page hyperlinks are available to redirect to the about us page and contact us page. Hyperlinks are available. Now, if user click on the about us, what is happening? If I click on the about us, what is happening? One request is going to the server. The response is coming back to the browser. If you click on the contact us, one request is going to the server. The response is coming back to the browser. Like that, every time what is happening, one request is going to the server. So website means not only one person, many persons access in a moment. Okay, that's why if many requests are hitting the server, it decreases the performance. The network transmission speed will decrease. So further, this advanced technology is providing the concept, routing concept. We are calling it a single page application. What the main purpose I will tell you. So here we are creating one object in this concept. That object we are calling as router object. When user send the first request, then what is happening? That entire object we are loading into the browser. When user sends the first request, that object we are loading into the browser. Okay. In browser, these pages are loading home, next one, about us, and contact us. Because this object contains these three pages, means all the pages initially storing in the client's system, client's cache memory location. Okay. When client means user. When client click on this about, then the information is coming from here. If client click on the contact, the information is coming from here. Means from second time onwards, no need to go to the server, get the data. Is it clear? Yes. Next time onwards, no need to go to the server to get the data. So this concept we are calling as single page application concept. So it reduces the hits on server and increases the performance of application. We are spending around 7 to 8 days with this concept. So we are taking the sessions 7 to 8 sessions we are taking. There only we'll discuss how to redirect from one page to another page, how to work with authentication, okay, authorization and router guards. Next one. So how to work with, okay, parameters, nested routing, okay, lazy loading, like the different types of concepts we have. So those are all we will cover this. So this is very, very useful for us. What is that? So supports single page application. Okay. Yes. Next one. Yeah. Supports JSX format. See, the JSX is available in React, not available in Angular. Okay. It is not there in Angular. Only React contains the JSX format. What is the advantage of the JSX? Why we are in the JSX? So JSX generally we are using to combine HTML with JavaScript. Means you want to write the HTML code inside the JavaScript, or you want to write JavaScript inside the HTML. Then it supports the JSX is supporting for us. Okay, so JSX stands for JavaScript XML. Okay, how to write this HTML inside the JavaScript and how to write JavaScript inside the HTML. Those things we'll discuss later. Anyhow, this React supports the JSX concept. So JSX means JavaScript XML. Is this clear? Now, for example, in applications, if we take, we are writing JavaScript in one file, HTML in another file, and that JavaScript we are calling from HTML. Okay, or HTML we are calling from JavaScript. It is entirely time-taking process for the programmer. Okay, for example, a piece of JavaScript code is there. That result I want to display on the table. Then generally we are writing JavaScript in separate file and HTML table in separate file. So then we are calling one file to from another file. That is the main. But in this point of view, okay, we can combine these two. We can combine these two by using JSX format. Is it clear? So that is the main point of this. Using JSX, we can combine these two. Means within the table tag, you can write the code. Okay. So directly it supports. Generally, if you write any JavaScript inside the HTML or any HTML inside the JavaScript, you will get the error message. Okay. Generally, you will get the error message. But in this point of view, you won't get any error message. That is the main purpose of this. Okay. Yes. So it supports what? JSX format. Next one. Supports virtual DOM. Yes. What is that? Supports virtual DOM. What this virtual DOM we have? Okay. See, right now I don't discuss what is virtual DOM. Later we'll discuss. But one point I will tell you. Because of this virtual DOM, React application is faster than Angular. So at the time of execution, okay, React executes faster than Angular because of this virtual DOM. Okay, when we are updating the code and you are trying to see the updated code in the browser, so at the time of updating, so React executes faster than Angular because of this virtual DOM. Okay, so Angular doesn't have this virtual DOM. React contains this virtual DOM. So DOM is nothing but one memory object based on the HTML controls we declared in the browser web page. Okay, based on this controls, one object is created that is called as DOM. So later I will show you everything what is DOM and how it is executing, what is physical DOM, why they introduced this virtual DOM. Everything we'll discuss later. Anyhow, it supports the virtual DOM concept. Yeah, that is one big advantage for us. Okay, so faster means don't expect okay days and days, sorry, hours and hours. In milliseconds point of milliseconds point of view, some difference you can identify at the time of execution and updating the code. Okay, yes. So that I will show you. So it supports virtual DOM concept. Next one here, Yes, supports many services. Services we are using in functional point of okay. Services we are using in functional point of view. Predefined services are available. Those services directly we can use here. That is the main point of this. In JavaScript, we need to write each and every statement, okay, coding. But here, pre-implemented services are available. So based on our logic, we can use these services. Okay, like the different types of services we have. And here supports Redux. Yeah. Redux is one state container. Generally, in websites, we are using one terminology that is state management. I think few people may have idea on this who are working with Java.net. State management means what is that? So to transfer the data from one page to another page, okay, the websites. For example, online e-commerce website, if you want to transfer the data from, okay, so product page to payment page, okay, or one page to another page. In that point of view, taking the support of state management concept. In the state management concept, we are using objects like cookies, sessions, etc., etc. Okay, so Redux is also just like that. Okay, but it is providing more features than these cookies, local storage, sessions, and all other state management objects. Compared with these objects, so this Redux provides more features. Okay, that is the main advantage of this. It supports what? Redux. Okay, I will explain in the programs how to work with this Redux and all. Okay, so then you will get the clarity in this point of. Next one, React Native. We can use implement cross mobile applications. Yes. So in very beginning, I told you we are using to develop the websites by using the React JS. Okay. It is for client side coding of website, not only website, even in mobile applications also we are using. Okay. So with the support of native framework. For example, if you take website, for designing we are using HTML. Okay, for designing HTML we are using means to display the website screens. Website screens with the controls HTML we are using. And for client side coding, React.js. If you take mobile applications, so for designing we are using native framework and coding is React. Is it clear? Means not only websites. After this React course, if you know something about native, okay, we can also develop mobile applications. So these mobile applications are cross application. Cross mobile applications means one app can run under any mobile device. For example, if you develop any Android app, it supports Android mobile only. It is not supporting the other mobiles like iPhone, etc. If you develop any mobile app using iPhone technologies, it supports iPhone, not supporting Android and Microsoft and other mobiles. But some technologies are there, like React Native, Phone Gap. Okay, these technologies, if used to develop the app, so that app can run under any mobile like Android, iPhone, Microsoft mobile, etc. Means it is a less cost, okay, less budget and client's point of view. That's why many companies also working with this mobile application development using this React technology. So additionally, we should know that native. These classes are website development point of view. We will discuss the concepts. We don't discuss the mobile development here. Okay, this is purely these sessions are purely for website development. Okay, yes. Next one, simple coding. So the main purpose, if you compare the JavaScript, okay, so React JS coding is very, very simple. Okay, that is the main advantage. because it is library of JavaScript. So providing additional features compared with the JavaScript, and coding point of it is very, very simple. So these are the main features what we have. So data binding, single page application, many validators, and JSX support, virtual log, like that. These are all the features. And if you compare with the Angular, Angular is not supporting JSX format. Angular is not supporting virtual DOM. And mobile development, Angular, we need to take the support of third-party tools. Okay. So that is the drawback in this Angular. And more differences if you observe here. So for example, if you want to work with React JS, okay, we can use either JavaScript or TypeScript. Anything we can use here, either JavaScript or TypeScript. Okay, so means it is a library. To access these library features with the support of either JavaScript or TypeScript, we can use. Okay, but if we take yes Angular, you should learn TypeScript compulsory. Okay, so that is the main. So here to work with this React.js, if you know JavaScript, that is enough. If you have idea on the JavaScript, that is enough. Okay, but Angular TypeScript is compulsory. Okay, because the entire packages they implemented using TypeScript. Okay, so in companies from past few years, many programmers working with the JavaScript. Okay, so for them, if they want to upgrade their skills, if they want to upgrade their skills, then what is the supporting technology for them? That is React, yes. Because already they know JavaScript. That's why simply they can learn this React and they can upgrade their skills. So in that way, in companies, many React.js teams are established. That's why if companies are looking for the new resource, obviously they're looking with this React.js. This is the reason why we have more openings for this React compared with Angular. But Angular is also good in market. Okay, so companies work with Angular also. But if you compare with this React, React has more openings, more opportunities compared with this Angular. And React belongs to Facebook, Angular belongs to Google. Okay, and TypeScript belongs to Microsoft. JavaScript belongs to Netscape Corporation, later adopted by Sun Microsystems. Okay, yeah. Anyhow, this is the product of Facebook, and Angular is the product of Google. Okay, got it. So these are the main features what we have. Okay, so compare with this Angular, we have more opportunities with this React. That is 100% is true, and this is the right choice. Okay, to learn React.js and to get the job on this React.js. Okay. Now, already I told you in last class, the prerequisite is to learn this React.js, okay, is JavaScript. Okay, yes. So that's why I don't know, you people may have idea on the JavaScript or may not have idea. Okay. So may or may not, I don't know. But here we are discussing the JavaScript concepts. So JavaScript point of view, complete JavaScript is required for us. Okay, for example, if you open this, you can see the contents. Now, see. So this is the course content. You can collect it from DURGASOFT official website. So in JavaScript, we are covering these topics. So variables, functions, events, array functions, that must be posting object, form objects, JavaScript objects, Ajax, promise. Okay, how to call the functions. So it's like the protocols I told you. So it's local storage, session storage, state management concept. and some operators closes. Like that, these are all comes under JavaScript. And in React point of view, so these are components, types of components, okay? Class components, functional components, and lifecycle hooks, use state, use effect, use reducer. All these are different types of lifecycle hooks. Okay, so these are all the concepts which we are covering. So here, initial 20 days were spending with JavaScript. After that, around 45 days were spending with the React JS. Total code duration is 65 days. Okay. Yes. I told you 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. Only the first Saturday, the batch means tomorrow we don't have class because few more people will join from Monday onwards. Next week onwards, we have 6 days a week. And every day 1 hour session. Okay. And demos we're spending around 50 minutes like that. Once the link changes, we will spend around 1 hour session. And I will share the material videos, daily class notes, daily videos in the Google Drive. You will get the access shortly once you've done the payment. So that registration process completed, then you will get the drive access. Okay. Yes. So these are the features we discussed. From your side, if you have any questions, you can ask me now. Abhishek, Chandra, Aryan, and others. Yeah. Sarvesh, any doubts? No, no. Fine. Next class means Monday class. Okay. We'll start the concepts of JavaScript. Before that, a small part of HTML introduction also required. So only one session I'm taking HTML because we'll cover the registration page, login pages, okay, how to implement using React. So we will discuss that time. Some part of HTML is required for you. Okay. Yes. Fine. See you in next class. You can drop now. Thank you.